The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to this morning's helpline session with your host, James McDonald.
Well, thank you very much, Andrea, and I'd like to welcome our participants to our Monday morning session here, our open forum helpline. We can discuss anything that you like, anything that's on your mind. I hope that everyone had a wonderful July 4th weekend, and you watched some fireworks and got to spend some time with the fam. But now we're back at it. And as you know, on our Monday sessions, we can discuss anything you like. The sky's the limit. You bring up the topic and we will discuss it, and we'll take an hour, and we'll just take as many of your comments and questions and topics of discussion as time permits. I do want to begin, though, by answering a question that I got emailed to me over the weekend, because I thought it would be a good way to start off the helpline session here and get the juices flowing. The question that was emailed to me was in regards to running print classified ads. So our member had a question. They wanted to run some print classified ads, and what they wanted to know is where would be the appropriate publication and where in the publication to run the classified ad. Now, the reason that there is a little confusion is because you know that we can run a classified ad more than just in the classified section. So there are rules. So let me begin by just explaining this. First of all, anybody that tells you that print advertising is dead wrong. It is not true. Just because everybody doesn't read the newspaper or everybody doesn't read a given publication doesn't mean that some don't. What you will likely find, though, is the amount of competition for other realtors advertising in print has diminished. It's gone down quite a lot. So you don't have near the competition. So remember this. What a good marketer does is they always allow the response to dictate what they continue and discontinue doing. So don't let someone tell you before you've tested that it is not going to work. That would be a big, big mistake. Okay, so here are the rules. Number one. What you're going to find is that if you're going to run a classified ad, you'll find that the classified ads that will generally generate the most and most consistent response are those that offer lists of properties. So in other words, instead of running a classified ad that offers a home for sale, like your listing, or that offers a free special report, or that offers an online home evaluation, what you'll find generally beats all three of those is an ad that offers a free list of properties in a given geographical area, particularly when you really make the offer compelling by offering a list of great deals. So the distress sale ad, a free list of distress sale, bank foreclosures, must-sell homes, is a jackpot ad in the classifieds. So when you're running a classified ad in print, start with what is most likely going to work the best, and that is an ad that offers a list of great deals. Now, if you say, well, I wanted to offer upscale homes, okay, offer a free list of upscale properties that include great deals like distress sales, bank foreclosures, company-owned, vacant, and other must-sell homes. In other words, you can offer upscale properties, but make sure you're adding the element of a good deal. Okay, now next point. Where do we want to run these ads? First of all, the daily newspapers are generally very, very expensive. And they don't have a lot of shelf life because they're daily. They come out every single day. So now you're spending a lot of money to run your ad in that newspaper every day. If you only run it one day, the problem is it has very little visibility. It's only around for that one day. So here's what you might want to look into. If your marketplace has a local newspaper, preferably one that is delivered directly to residents in the community, those are your go-to publications. The best ones are the ones that have a homes for sale classified section. Now I say that because sometimes there is no real estate homes for sale section in the classifieds, which generally means that consumers aren't going there to look for homes for sale. What it likely means, though, is that there is another section in the newspaper that would be more appropriate for real estate. So I'll let you do that research to establish that. Do not run an ad under real estate services because no one's looking for a real estate service. They're looking for homes for sale. So it's critical, if we're going to run our ad in the classifieds, we run it under homes for sale, not anywhere else. Run it where prospects would be looking, shopping, and that is under homes for sale. Someone's looking under homes for sale for a home for sale. They're going to come across your ad that offers not only many homes for sale, but good deals, hard to find properties, properties that they will not find if they do not respond to that ad and do not respond immediately. That's the objective here. Now, having said that, what you can also test is running the ad elsewhere in the newspaper. But if you're going to do that, we call that a display ad. And to run a display ad means that it's got to stand out off the page. See, when it's run in the classified section, prospects are going to the classified section on their own volition to look for properties for sale. That's why they're searching. They're actively shopping. So we don't need our ad to stand out for them to find it. They're looking there on their own volition. This is different when we take the ad out of the classifieds and we run it in the newspaper itself. Now all of a sudden what we're trying to do is grab attention with the ad. So to do that, using reverse type, for example, can help accomplish that. Making sure that the headline is most prominent. In other words, if the ad were to say Carlsbad distress sale homes list, that would really grab attention for somebody who's just scanning headlines, reading the local newspaper. What you also might want to test, if you're going to run the ad out of the classifieds, out of the homes for sale section, you can test offering the online home evaluation. That works very well out of the classified section. But these are the things that you want to consider. Local newspaper, under homes for sale in the classifieds, offer a free list of properties for sale. Also test running it outside of the classifieds in the local paper, in the news section, as remnant space would be great. You'll get a great deal. It'll be very inexpensive to do that. But if you're going to do that, you've got to make sure it stands out off the page. Use reverse type, make it big and bold. Really make sure that someone who's just scanning the newspaper, their eye is going to be drawn to your very quick and concise offer using your website and using a domain name specifically for that offer. So anyway, I hope that answers our members' question in regards to running classified ads in print. I will tell you this, if you get that formula down, what you will find is that it works. And you will generate leads from it. Now, how many leads do you need for it to be successful? Well, here's a better question. How good is your lead conversion? See, because the truth is this. If you're good with lead conversion, then you don't need to generate a lot of leads. You just don't. If you're good at lead conversion, then generating a lead even every other time you run the ad would generate more than enough leads where it would pay for itself for many, many years. I mean, we're talking about small, inexpensive local papers, not running them in, you're not running the ad in USA Today or, in the Toronto Star or, the Dallas Morning News. You're not going to run it in a big daily newspaper. You're going to stick to the small community newspapers that are delivered free to residents in the community. Those are the best ones. And I didn't even talk about the option of running editorial style ads, which are really, when you grab that local newspaper, what you should be looking for is this suitable for an editorial style ad? And those are an absolute jackpot if done correctly in the appropriate publication as well. Okay, so Andrea, I'm hoping that got the juices flowing a little bit, and I'm trying to find in my email here who posed that question about running the classified ads, but regardless, I hope that helped. And now we can talk about anything you want. So I don't want everybody to think this is some kind of an ad clinic or marketing session in particular. We can discuss anything you like. You decide, and you can type your question into the chat, or you can voice on the microphone whatever's on your mind.
Okay, go ahead and type your question now or click the hand icon so we know to open your mic. Our first question in the chat box comes from John, and regarding what you just spoke of, James, it says, can you repeat what you said regarding classified ads for upscale homes?
What I said is this. When you run an ad that offers properties for sale, it is more compelling than a property for sale. So for example, if there were two ads and one said upscale home, 4,200 square feet, 5 bedrooms, loaded with upgrades, 989.9. All right, that's ad number one. The other ad said, upscale homes, free list of upscale executive gated community properties from 3,500 to 6,000 square feet. Includes distress sales, bank foreclosures, must-sell deals, free list of pictures, www.areaupscaleproperties.com. That second ad would be far more compelling to somebody looking for an upscale home than the first ad. See, the first ad is easy to eliminate. If you don't want 5 bedrooms, you eliminate it. If you don't want 4,200 square feet, you eliminate it. If you're not looking for, 980,000, you eliminate it. There are all kinds of reasons to eliminate the single property. The idea is we want to offer an ad that offers luxury homes because that's what we're targeting, is an upscale luxury buyer. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we make a widely appealing offer so that anyone who is looking for an upscale property cannot be eliminated from your ad. What we're also going to do, in addition to offering many upscale properties, what we're also going to do is we're going to include the element of a good deal. See, if we say free list of properties that you've probably already seen by looking online, that's not very compelling. Now, obviously, we wouldn't say that, but that might be the impression that the buyer has. Free list of properties that are on the market over $1 million. You've already seen them. But if we add this element, free list of upscale distressed properties, these properties must sell and are upscale homes, starting from 900,000 and up. You're adding the element of a good deal. The element of a good deal is what creates urgency to respond. You take away the element of a good deal, and what happens is you're taking away the urgency to respond. What you're saying is, yeah, you could probably find these properties anywhere you look. What we want to say is, you will only find these properties if you respond to this ad. All right, so I hope that answers your question. And by the way, you could do that and should with any ad that you run. If you're going to offer a list of properties, let's say you wanted to offer a free list of golf course community homes. Well, you could run an ad that says, golf course community properties, free list with pictures, great homes on the golf course, www.golfcoursehomes.com. Or you could run an ad that says, golf course deals. These homes on the golf course must sell. Free list includes distress sales, bank foreclosures, must sell golf course properties, all prices, free list, www.golfcoursedeals.com. Right? The second ad doesn't just offer golf course properties, it offers a great deal on golf course properties. It creates a sense of urgency by offering special homes on the golf course, or at least including special properties, special deals on the golf course. And that is what gets the prospect to either pick up the phone and call into the hotline, or to visit the domain name to request these great deals on golf course properties. All right, but I want you to understand that adding the element of a good deal it can be added regardless of what you're offering, whether it's a geographical area, whether it's a price range, whether it's a feature of a property. You could offer a list of swimming pool homes, distress sale pool homes. You can include deals regardless of what you're offering. So I hope that helps and gives you some good ideas for your ads here this week. Who's next, Drea?
Alexandra is asking, do we have examples of the ads you're talking about on the coaching site?
Yeah, well, I mean, there are lots of examples, but here's what you want to do. You want to take the distress sale ad, and all you want to do is you want to customize the distress sale ad to offer whatever particular properties or area you're targeting. So in other words, the distress sale ad is generic. It just offers distress sale homes. If you want to make it specific to an area, just include the area. If you want to make it specific to a neighborhood, include the neighborhood. So it would say, Mariners Point distress sale properties. All you're doing is you're using the distress sale ad. You're using the must sell ad. Any of the ads that offer great deals, those are the ads you want to test. And all you're going to do is customize them. So instead of them being generic, they are specifically offer homes in a specific area, or types of properties, or physical features. Right? That's all. So don't make it more complicated than it has to be. Really, really simplify this. What do you want to offer? Who are you targeting? And add the element of a good deal. That's where the must sell or the distress sale ads come in. Next question.
Okay, we have a hand raised from Ernest Van Glan. Your mic is now open.
Good morning, James. Good morning, Andrea.
Hi, Ernie.
How you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you today?
Good. I got a quick question regarding Craigslist. I've done everything humanly possible to try to have the ads stick, copy the ads as is. I've even eliminated the domain name because I know they don't want that in there. Is anybody having any success with Craigslist? Because my ads are constantly getting flagged. And it's probably other realtors in reality, but is anybody around?
Yeah, no, honestly, Craigslist a couple of years ago was a real opportunity. But, the truth is that now it really isn't. And the reason being is this. The only thing you can advertise on Craigslist is an individual property listing. So if you have individual property listings, you can advertise those every other day. You can post an ad advertising your property listing. But you can't do anything else.
Right.
So now here's the deal with that. It means all you're going to do is you're going to appeal to the prospect that wants the listing that you have. So you can try to be vague and not give too much disqualifying information, but you can't offer like a list of properties. You'll just be ghosted. You'll be flagged and removed. So you can't do that. Now here's the problem. The reason that we don't the reason that we don't exclusively run ads that offer individual properties for sale is because we know that if 10 buyers see that ad, out of those 10 buyers, it's highly likely that none of them want a home like yours.
Right.
Right? They don't want whatever it is, wherever it is, whatever the price, whatever the features, whatever it is, there's something about it that they don't want. So 10 buyers saw the ad and 10 buyers eliminated it because it's not what they want. So the alternative to that is to say, well, what if I offer many properties? You can't eliminate many. Now Craigslist is saying you can't offer many. You have to offer one. Whereupon they've taken away the whole benefit, the whole opportunity to generate leads. So here's the deal with Craigslist. Use it to advertise your property listing or a property listing, and that's it.
Right.
You really can't go beyond that. So, and that's their choice. I mean, the truth is this, is it was being taken over by realtors that were essentially spamming it, and they were ruining it for everybody. So, they put their foot down and said, hey, listen, Craigslist is designed for the individual person who wants to sell whatever they have. That's what it's designed. It's designed for the individual person. Now, the individual person can no longer use it if it's being spammed by companies who have an auto poster that every minute on the minute is posting new ads. It means that me as an individual who wants to post an ad can't, because as soon as I post my ad, it's gone. It's immediately disappeared. So guess what I say? I say screw it, and I don't bother using it anymore. Whereupon Craigslist says, well, I can't have this. It's intended for the individual user, and the individual user isn't using it because it's of no use to them. So they changed the rules, and it's pretty firmly established now. It isn't designed for realtors. You can use it to advertise an individual property. You might get some response if you're careful not to use too much disqualifying information, but thinking that you're going to use Craigslist to offer lists of properties and really generate meaningful leads, unfortunately, the ship has sailed. Fortunately, though, we've got lots of other ways that we can generate leads online and in print. So don't kill yourself, focusing on Craigslist too much these days.
Hey, James, I'm here as well.
Hey, Craig, how you doing?
Good. Happy Monday.
Morning, Craig.
Happy Monday to you.
Morning.
We just had a little conversation here about running ads on Craigslist and the reality.
Yep. No, I've been here listening. The other problem with Craigslist is you can't put a live link in there now.
Right.
So you have to drive people to your hotline or to your cell phone or your office, which is not ideal. So we do have some members that are using it successfully by driving to a free recorded message, which is exactly what we did in print advertising. If you think of Craigslist, really all it is an online classified section. That's really all it is. So You can do whatever you want on Craigslist until they say you can't, and then they flag you.
Yeah, well, and the problem is that is essentially become immediately now, as you know, as most of our members have discovered, not all, but most have discovered that it doesn't take long. And the problem is once you're flagged a few times, they ghost your account. So what that means is you can post ads, they just don't show up, and you don't know.
Okay, well, let me say overall, this is a concern with all of these online vehicles that we use and that we have been using, like Craigslist or Facebook or Google. Understand these large entities can and do change their rules at their whim.
Yep.
So that's why if you want stability in your business, you don't want to be over-reliant on any one medium. Diversification is the key. And that's what we teach in this program is diversification. You're going to find that some mediums work better than others, but if you become overly dependent on any one of these mediums, then you know, you could be vulnerable.
Exactly.
Right. So you know, we're always trying to, James, our entire staff is trying to keep ourselves up to date on exactly what they're changing, but they're always going to continue to change. I mean, each one of these entities is, you know, it's all about them. Okay, it's about perpetuating Facebook. Facebook's all about perpetuating Facebook, and Google, and Craigslist. So if you know, they feel that something's to their benefit, they're not really too concerned about you know, the net outcome for real estate agents. And this is why I've always preached you know, diversification through direct mail. There's still many of you that believe the classified section in the newspaper is not a good place to advertise, although you've never really tested or you've never done it properly. Direct mail, okay, sending out postcards. We've got postcards that are proven to work. Direct mail is inexpensive. It's highly effective. Everybody's got to go to their mailbox. And the one thing we know with certainty is mail will never be taken away from us. Why? Because mail is run by the government. If you think about it, everywhere else we advertise is privately owned. Okay, the post office is run by us. It's the government, and they make, well, they lose money on it because nothing with the government's run properly.
Well, not only that, but try going to FedEx and saying, I want you to deliver this for 45 cents. I'd like you to try that.
Well, how about this with Every Door Direct? With Every Door Direct, it's like 15 or 16 cents.
Yeah, 17. Yeah, it's 17 cents. So clearly, charging 17 cents isn't designed as a money-making venture, which is great. Good for us.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think we beat that one to death. Have we looked at any of the chat questions yet, James?
We have not.
Okay, so why don't we do that? I'll read a few to you, and we'll put you to work here.
Ah, I love it. Okay.
Okay. John Crane is asking, James, can you repeat what you said regarding classified ads for upscale homes?
Yeah, we did that one already, so we did take that chat question, actually.
All right. Alexandra, have you taken this question? Do you have examples of these ads on the coach? Okay. Okay.
We did take some chat questions, I guess. I forgot. Short-term memory is waning.
Okay, how about this one from Brett? Are coaching members invited to all 3 Platinum days in September? And the answer is yes to that. Okay, John Crane is asking this. What do you do if you don't have a community newspaper that's delivered free? My daily paper offers 20 days for $275 and gives you 30 days of online included. Is this good? Well, the only way we're going to know if it's good is to test. I'm not really overly concerned about the cost of something. I'm more concerned about the ROI, the return on investment. That certainly doesn't seem unreasonable to me, John. 20 days for $275 plus you get 30 days, a whole month of online. The only weekly we have is subscription only and not delivered. We do have a penny saver that will print. Okay, so you tried the penny saver as well. So that's.
I would test the penny saver for classifieds. It's worth a test. Make sure and run the distress sale ad. And I would test the weekly paper that you said is by subscription. I would test an editorial ad in there.
Okay, now keep in mind too, when you test these different newspapers, if it's not working for you, or even if it is working, send us your ads so we can look at them, because far too many of you abandon a newspaper and say, well, it doesn't work. But when we have a look at your ads, it was clearly the ad wasn't run properly, so it wouldn't work in any newspaper. So we don't want to be premature about this and
right.
You know, say the newspaper is not going to work until we're absolutely certain we're running the ads properly in that newspaper. Okay, Jeff Kim is left, but his question was, what's the best way to get foreclosure properties not on MLS? James, what would you say to that?
Well, what I would recommend is a couple things. First of all, that you have relationships with lenders and with the banks, and probably have a good conversation with your broker as well. These properties are available, so you need a way to be aware of them. Also, there are website companies that can provide this kind of information as well. So if you, I'm trying to think of the name of the website company, Craig, that supplies pre-foreclosure properties as well as foreclosures, and also even private sales as well. Wish Lester was here. He knows.
No, it's Realty Track.
Okay, there you go, Realty Track. So here's the thing. We're never going to run an ad that says free list of bank foreclosures. What you're doing is you're running an ad that says distress sales, bank foreclosures, company owned. In other words, what you're saying is, I'm offering a list that includes bank foreclosures. That's different than saying, I'm offering a list of bank foreclosures. Here's why you don't want to do that. If there are no bank foreclosures that match what the prospect is looking for, it means you have nothing to send. If you offer them a free list of distress sales, and that list includes must-sell properties, foreclosures, vacant properties, price-reduced properties, what you're saying is that you're not only offering bank foreclosures, but should there be a bank foreclosure, you will also include it. And it makes the ad much more versatile. So, hey, if there is a foreclosure, there is. If there isn't, that's okay. You can still offer them these properties. But don't confuse a distress sale with a bank foreclosure.
Right. And remember, it's your list, so whatever you perceive to be a good deal can be on your distress sale list. It could be vacant properties. It could be company-owned properties. I want to remind everyone that you can ask your audio questions as well. We'll take some audio questions shortly. I'm going to ask a couple more chat questions here. This is from John Crane again. John says, thank you, James, but for editorial ads in the newspaper, I assume you should run a seller ad. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd say should, but here's what I would suggest. Start with the costly home seller mistake editorial ad. And the reason I suggest it is because we've been running these ads for many, many years. And I can tell you that with great consistency and predictability, the ad that offers the costly home seller mistakes is very, very good. So if all things are equal, you've run it properly, it's in the front of the newspaper, it's surrounded by community news, it looks like an article, the headline
why don't we do this, James? Andrea, why don't you take us to the editorial ads for sellers, and I will share with everybody my top performing seller ads. Yeah, so we'll just cut to the chase and I'll show you which ones to run.
The home inspection ad is another really good one.
Okay, yeah, you can keep it right here. Okay, so home seller mistakes, ID 1000 at the top. Right there.
Right, so click on that. Let's take a look at it.
Okay, now this is an alternate headline.
Yeah, where are the different headlines that we can choose from?
I don't think they're there, but that headline can be which of these costly home seller mistakes will you make when you sell your new market home?
Right.
Okay, now let's back out of that one and let's go to inspection. Next one down, 1003. Okay, so you can run that one exactly the way it is. That's exactly how I ran it. And you can change new market to your city. Just go under extra number 2. Change that to Carlsbad, please. Yeah, it's extra number 2 we need. We can keep that as keep that as Carlsbad, and then we'll go down to extra number 2 to show everybody how to do this.
Sorry about that. I'm having a little trouble.
Well, that's the female version. That's Carlsbad. It's the sister city of Carlsbad.
Is it 2 words or is it?
Right, like that.
No, you got
okay,
it right.
okay.
Right.
Carlsbad home. Needs to say home. Right there. That easy. Okay, let's back out of that, and we'll look at a couple more that we're going to recommend everyone run. And this is running under the editorial section, not the classified section. Okay, so go down to, well, let's go down to FSBO. I mean, if you've got some courage, run that one.
It's a great ad.
Right, how to sell your Carlsbad, your new market home without an agent. Okay, and let's flip back again. And let's go down to 27 tips. Really, I like these all. I mean, I wouldn't suggest you run them if I didn't like them. They're all actual ads that I ran, and thousands of members before you folks have been running successfully. But so this is a positive headline, right? This headline here, James, would appeal to the home seller's sense of greed, right? How to sell my home for the most amount of money. 27 quick and easy fix-ups to sell your new market home faster for top dollar. Where the first editorial ad we looked at, that headline, which of these costly home seller mistakes will you make when you sell your home, would appeal to the seller's sense of fear. So fear and greed are the 2 biggest emotional hot buttons. Okay, let's go back to our questions here. Oh, we got quite a few coming in here. That's good. Got a question here about gold plan. This is from Ira, who's left the call, but Ira is asking, can you please tell me where I can find the checklists and flyer templates for gold plan? I can find the cover letters, but that's it. Do you know where that is, Andrea? Can you pop that up, please?
Okay, hold on one moment.
How you doing anyway today, Andrea?
I'm good, I'm good. And I'm not actually sure where those are going to be. Do you know, are they going to be in the file library?
Use the search window. Just type in gold plan and see what comes up there.
Okay, hold on just one second.
I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. And if we find things that are missing or aren't right there, gold plan, just shoot Adrian an email anytime we search something and we can't find it, and we'll update it as we fly. Okay, so let's see if these are just the cover letters or if this is everything. If we can.
I'm going to download it real quick. Give me a second. My computer's going a little slow this morning, so.
All right. Well, we'll move on to the next question while you're downloading that. Okay, Beverly Perez is asking, James and Craig, what should I send my past customers? Is this a good way to get leads? Well, look, past customers are not likely going to buy or sell, well, they say on average every 7 years, but you can leverage off of them to get referrals, so it's worth keeping in touch with them. So I developed a past client newsletter. And with the past client newsletter, you're going to, try to continue to build that relationship with them. And you want to make sure that you're always asking for referrals in that newsletter. Beverly's asking about an e-newsletter. Yeah, you can do that, but as you probably know, Beverly, I prefer direct mail. I prefer a newsletter that they're going to get in their mailbox with that. Hand address label, live stamp, and something personal about you and what's going on in your life and something about the community, and always asking for referrals.
Okay.
You got to program them for referrals. You got to be asking them all the time. And one of the great ways to get referrals, by the way, is to commit to a worthy cause. So maybe you folks have heard me talk about this before, but what I used to do earlier in my career is if somebody sent me a referral, if James sent me a referral, James, I would give you a certificate towards a free dinner at La Spiga restaurant.
Right.
Okay, so I mean that's better than nothing because a lot of realtors don't do anything when they receive a referral. So imagine, James, if you referred a realtor, a client, and you didn't even get as much as a phone call, a note, a thank you of any kind, you might not feel appreciated, and we want to make sure that we reinforce that good behavior. So what's even better than a bottle of wine or a free dinner or a gift certificate for Starbucks or Panera Bread would be having a worthy cause. So what I like what some of our platinum members are doing here because it might be the Children's Hospital. So James, if I send a newsletter to you as a past client, and I let you know that anytime that you do business with me or you send a referral to me, I'm going to make a donation for every transaction you refer to me. I'm going to make a donation on your behalf to Sick Kids Hospital. What is that worth? See, you can't put a price on saving a child's life worth a lot more than a bottle of wine or a gift certificate at Starbucks.
Right, of course.
Okay, so that's something that you can be talking about in your marketing to your clients and your past clients. At the upcoming Super Conference, I'm going to talk a lot more about setting up a highly effective referral program. And the funny thing is when we ask agents, most agents that say they get a lot of referrals, exactly what they do to get referrals, most of them kind of shrug their shoulders and say, well, nothing. So my response to that is, well, those are accidental referrals. Imagine what would happen if you actually tried. What if you were really proactive about getting referrals? What if you actually had an effective ongoing referral program? What would happen then if you're already doing okay? And that's one of the things that we want your coach to be talking to you about is what you're already doing an okay job of and how we can make that even better. Okay, let's go on and, by the way, how did you make out with the goal plan stuff?
Well, in the file library, I downloaded a zip file, and then I opened it up and I found all of these Word documents. I didn't see where it said the cover letter, though, on any
well, those are all the cover letters, I think.
These are all the cover letters? Okay.
So the cover letters offer stuff, and our member wants to know, well, where's the stuff that the cover letter offers?
I know if you go to, all of our members currently have access to the session materials. So if you go to session materials and you click why follow-up is everything, you can also find more information, and there's under attachments, there's all the surveys, the newsletter, the script, the action plans, goal plan letters, the cover letters, and the affiliate letter. So you can also find the information.
Okay, well, one place, if you want to get these all printed up, you can get them printed up at BXL, but I'm pretty sure on the old coaching site there was a place where everybody could download all the goal plan letters. Okay, if you click on goal plan letters, yeah, I don't see it here unless it's under goal plan letters. Okay, look, let's talk about this when we're done here today, and we'll figure out where those are. But there should be a PDF that people can download, and they can see all of the pieces that the cover letters offer. Unless it comes up when you download goal plan letters, but I think that's what you're looking at right now.
And I actually just got an error, so I will get with you and Adrian to see what's going on with that.
Perfect. Okay, let's keep going here. Chris Cornell. Chris is asking, my coach recommended I change my display ad from 90 days to 60 days, or I'll sell your home for free in a 90-day market because I can control the list price. What percentage of market value would you suggest? Well, I would suggest market value. Right? That's the idea. The idea, Chris, is homes sell at market value. That's what market value is. right? So what I'm promising to a seller is I will sell your home for what I believe it's worth within 60 days, or I'll charge you no listing commission. In fact, Chris, I don't even know why you would go here first. The first USP that I would offer is your home sold in X amount of days, or I'll pay you $1,000 cash, because you're only risking $1,000 with that USP versus risking your entire listing commission with this USP. But I don't offer any discount of market value on that USP. I mean, it's your program. You can do what you want. But on the guaranteed sale program where I have to buy it, yeah, then I build in a buffer. And that discount is 5%. Okay, so can you do it that? Yeah, you can offer a discounted guarantee off of market value. I just never did it that way. But my recommendation is start with your home sold in X amount of days, or I'll deduct $1,000 first. That may be, a big enough benefit. Maybe, maybe not, but go there first. If you've tried that and it didn't work, then go to this one where you're waiving all of your commission if you don't get it sold in X amount of days. Okay. Sergio says, side note, every door direct postcards need to be 9 by 6.5. I made a mistake of ordering 6 by 4, and the postage for these is 35 cents versus 17.5 cents. Also, there are some for the every door direct 9 by 6.5. You need to have the indicia something, I can't read this. This also has some regulations that need to be followed. Okay, so here's the advice. Go to the post office first. Find out for yourself exactly what the postcards need to look like, size, the indicia, all that kind of stuff before you order them. Okay? We want you guys to be responsible for that. I don't want to tell anybody, we'll print them up and they should be this size and they look like this, and then you go to your post office and they tell you something different. And I kind of laugh at that because they're always going to tell you something different. James, do you remember when Every Door Direct came out, we and our members knew more about the program than the people that worked at the post office?
Yes.
And shockingly, that may still be the case. So as much as I say go to the post office first and talk to them.
Well, you can go online. Go onto the website. You can go onto the U.S. Post Office website, and then you'll just choose your local post office. And Every Door Direct is you can do it from the website. You can find the map of the area, choose the neighborhoods. You can do it all
do they
online.
give you the specifications on the website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, all you're doing,
the problem with dealing
the
with an
order.
individual there is the next time you go there, you deal with a different individual that
Right.
tells you something else.
Yeah, no. You place the order on the website, and then you can print it all up, and then just bring it to the post office along with the postcards.
Next question from Guy Walker. Hi, James. We're doing well generating leads, but what we're finding is that most of the leads are further down the road, like longer than 6 months. We were at the last conference in Orlando with Todd, and Todd was talking about using the Dan Kennedy program. The confusion is where Todd talks about the hand address mail out using envelopes. We went through the entire program Saturday and found most of the program is email based, and we thought it was best to use direct mail. Well, I always use direct mail.
Right.
Let me tell you why, Guy, our members are using email, because they're kind of too lazy to do it by direct mail. Right? When I rolled out the gold plan way back when, it wasn't that it didn't work. The problem we had with our members is getting them to pay for the printing and pay for the postage and actually have somebody physically mail the stuff out. So when Todd developed an email version of this, the idea was, is it as good as direct mail? No. But if there's a chance that our members might do it versus not doing anything at all, then that's better than nothing, right? So that's the answer to that one. Ideally, should be all mailed. That's my preference. And maybe you mix in some emails, but we couldn't get most of our members to do that because it was too much money and too much work. So that's why Todd created the email version of this. And the benefit of the email version, as you probably found, Guy, is the videos are pretty strong. Okay, so I mean, can we drive people from direct mail to video? Yeah, but it's not as easy as going from email to video.
Craig, let me also say this, is that if I had a nickel for every time one of our students said, I'm generating leads, but they're all down the road, they're all 6 months down the road, that would be like saying everybody that walks into the shoe store is interested, but they're all just looking. You got to remember that, yes, of course, some of them are going to represent down the road business, perhaps even the majority of them, but not all of them. What's happening is the job of the prospect is to make themselves appear as though they're less motivated than they actually are. So you know, and Craig designed the script this way so that when you say, are you planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months, the prospect very likely is going to say, well, you know, it might be six. They're going to choose a time frame that's longer than reality. Now, here's how you'll know this is true. All of these leads that you're generating, you're tracking them. You also keep up to date on all of the brand new listings that come on the market. When you start to see that some of these leads that you've generated have listed with another realtor, and they've listed far sooner than what they had initially told you, what that's going to do is give you the reality check to say, okay, hang on a second here. What they're telling me and what they're doing are two completely different things. And that's what you do when you're the consumer. You make yourself appear as though you're not as motivated as you might actually be. We do that all the time. So when we use the universal script to determine timing and motivation, we've got to really make sure that we're following the script. The script asks a question twice. When do you think that might be? You know, it doesn't say, are you thinking about moving in 3 to 6 months? And they say, no, probably a year. And the script doesn't say, okay, well, bye. We purposely are going to probe further, knowing that even a prospect that plans on moving in a month is probably going to make themselves appear as though they're not. So we've got to kind of get by that. So bear that in mind as well, and try to figure out who those prospects are among them that are their timing is actually sooner than what they might be telling you.
Okay, next question is from Beverly Perez, and hang on, my question just moved on me here. Whenever someone asks a question, it jumps around here. Here it is. Okay, Beverly's asking, where can I find the contract for the guaranteed sales program? So, Andrea, are you able to pull that up, please? Andrea's going to pull that up. We have a Canadian version and a U.S. version, I believe.
And right before,
so just go to this.
I will, if I can interrupt you really quickly before I forget, I have found the Gold Plan mailers and all the information I've been going through while y'all have been talking. If you just go to Resources and then go down where it says Gold Plan, just click on that. And then we have the PDF version of the Gold Plan mailers. We have a Word version of the Gold Plan mailers, and then
all right, let's pull the PDF up and just look at that, please.
Okay. So it goes through all 12 mailers.
Yeah, just scroll and give everyone an idea. Okay, so here's all the stuff that the cover letters promise. Okay, so mailing number 1 promises the moving checklist. Mailing number 2, it tells you on that first page exactly what each cover letter promises. Yeah, just if everyone wants to print that off, that'll tell you exactly what you need to get printed somewhere.
Yes, it goes through all
Excellent
12.
Work. So email Adrian, and when we go to the search window and we pull up anything in regards to Gold Plan, let's make sure that that pops up as well.
Yes. And then also under the resources, I'll have him fix those errors when I click on the attachments. Okay, and just for a little refresher, what next was the next question I needed to look at? Okay,
so go to the search window and type in guaranteed sale.
Okay. Give me 1 second, my computer's thinking. Now, if I just type in guarantee,
Okay.
all of this is everything that I have access.
That's cool. We've got what we need. Download the Guaranteed Sale Program Manual, please.
Okay, it's coming up.
Okay, so Beverly, this is where you're going to find everything about the Guaranteed Sale Program, including examples of how to market, how to explain it to the seller, and we've got the actual Canadian contract I used and the American version of that. So one of our members just took mine and converted it for use in their market. So there's a little blurb on how it works and why we do it. Those are my personal guidelines. Those are my internal rules. And then here's the agreement. Okay, so we have automatic drop downs to the price. Some advertising examples. So you should find what you're looking for there, Beverly. Okay, our next question is from Harty. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. I have some questions regarding Craig's listing presentation. Number one, how do I transform my conversation to the topic of commission, and what are the proper words I need to say? Well, I would never bring up commission unless they do. Never brought it up. In fact, my listing agreement had my commission rate and my $4.95 transaction fee typed right in there in black ink, right? The contract's in black ink. It was typed in black ink, not written in, especially not written in blue ink or red ink or anything that's going to draw attention to my commission. I would never mention the commission ever unless they brought it up. Now, James, ask me what my commission rate is. That's tough for James. James, you still there? We've lost him.
Sorry. I'm there.
Okay.
I'm here. I've just been talking to myself, arguing with you over commission. Craig, what do you charge for commission?
6% plus a $4.95 transaction fee.
Oh, and is that negotiable?
No.
Wonderful.
That's it. Now, here's what I have found. The longer we talk about commission, the lower commission you're going to end up with. Now, at the end of this, if they balk and they won't sign up, remember, we're going to go through the entire benefits portion of the listing presentation first before we get into price, right? So benefit before we talk about price, because your commission rate doesn't matter at all if you haven't communicated enough value, right? Price is only important when there's absence of value.
Right.
So when I get done the benefits portion, before we even talk about commission, because I'm not going to bring it up for sure, I'm going to say to James, now James, based on what we've discussed so far, would you like me to handle this for you?
Right. Provided we can come to an agreement on pricing your property.
Well, I'm just gonna stop right there. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say there, and they might come back with, well, look, Craig, we haven't even talked about the list price, and we haven't talked about your commission rate. To which I'll say, well, assuming we can come to an agreement on the asking price and my fee, would you like me to handle this?
Yes, we definitely want you to handle it.
Right, because if the answer is no, if the answer is anything except for yes, well, what does it matter what my opinion of price is? And it really doesn't matter what commission rate I charge, does it? Because you're not convinced that I'm the guy for the job. The problem is if we do what most agents do, and we talk about all the benefits of using me, blah, 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 I do all this stuff, and then we go into price, and then we talk about the commission rate, and at the end of it they say no, well, we don't know what they said no to. Did they say no to they didn't like the benefits I provide? Did they say no because they didn't like my asking price? Did they say no because they didn't like my commission rate? See, if we do it this way, we go through the benefits first, and I say, now, James, based on the benefits I've communicated here, would you like me to handle this for you? If they say yes, and then we go into price, and then we go into, and they ask me about the commission. If they say no, and they won't sign up at the end of that, well, I know it has nothing to do with the benefits portion of the presentation. It's either they don't like my price or they don't like the commission I'm charging. And when we know the objection, we can better handle the objection. Pretty difficult to handle an objection if you don't know what it is. So you go through the benefits portion first, and we do it that way. Let's see what else is being asked here. I noticed that Craig highlights the fact that we also have a list of buyers. Yes, that's very important. Okay, so you've got a list of these buyers. In this case, how do I explain the 5% commission where 2.5% goes to the listing agent and 2.5% goes to the co-op broker? Do you encourage being the listing and cooperating broker at the same time? Well, I always encourage that. I like to hog the listing. You've heard me say this, James. The best way to get along with the other agent is when you are the other agent.
Right.
Now, look, I never had a lot of problems with representation once I had my team, because I would work with the seller and one of my team members would work with the buyer. Now, technically, RE/MAX was double-ending the property, correct? The brokerage I worked for, not my company, the brokerage I worked for, I had the listing, and one of my agents, who technically, worked for the brokerage, was working with the buyer. So it was still dual agency. It's just that the buyers, or the sellers rather, didn't really understand that. As long as I was representing the seller and another one of my agents was representing the buyer, I never received any grief. Okay, let's see if there's any audio questions at this point, Andrea.
Yes, sir. We have Rosalba Ferris. Your mic is now open.
Good morning, Craig. Good morning, James.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's Rosalba. Is that true?
Rosalba.
Rosalba. Okay. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I had the pleasure to be at the boot camp. It was great. I had a lot with me. I took a lot home.
Excellent.
Thank you for that. My question right now is running the direct mail or signing with bold leads. What do you recommend?
Try both.
I cannot afford both right now. I have to go one or the other.
Okay. Well, I would test both. So pick one. Try one for a while, look at the results that you get, and if the one thing you try works, by the way, then you might have the money to do a lot more. You could do both.
Let me make this suggestion. If speed is of the essence, time is of the essence, I assure you that when you sign up for bold leads, you will have leads literally within 48 hours right in your email inbox. You'll have them right away. Now, with direct mail, once they hit, you'll generate leads right away. Of course, it's direct response, but there is going to be some uptime for you to get them printed, make sure they're perfect, determine who they're being sent to. So that's going to take some time. So be aware of that as well. But ultimately, we want you to do both and more. So, but if time is of the essence and you really need leads immediately, if you call bold leads today, you'll have leads tomorrow.
Okay. That's the answer that I was hoping.
I say that very confidently because every one of our students that uses bold leads reports exactly that. I've never heard anyone say anything different. I mean, it just flat out works. So, and then we'll move on to lead conversion, which of course is the next. That's
what by the way, I'm working hard on the lead conversion. Even though I'm well experienced in the business, I'm having trouble memorizing it, and I'm working on it.
Well, try to understand it. If you understand it, it'll make memorizing it easier.
Right.
It's always easier to memorize something you kind of understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any more audio questions?
Yes, sir. We have Ira Miller. Your mic is now open.
Hello?
Hello, Ira.
Hello, Craig. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Hey, with the bold leads, when I call a lot of them, they tell me that they're not interested in selling. All they want to do is just get just to see what their home is worth.
Yeah, but that's what every seller says.
Here's a great question that you might want to ask. If you found out your home was worth more than you thought, would you consider selling?
Okay.
Well, look, this is why we ask the probing questions. Now, when I say this is what every seller says, probably 90% of them, 10% of them jump up and down and tell us exactly why they're moving, and we love those leads. I call those sellers the golden prospects, and we were talking about the gold plan a few minutes ago. When I call back a seller, regardless of whether it came from Bold's leads or Facebook or an editorial ad in the newspaper, and they're very upfront and they're and vocal about their motivation, their timing, what their intentions are. Those are easy. For everybody else, they pretty much hide their true motivations from us, right? They see us as salespeople, so they have a tendency. Most sellers have a tendency of saying, "Well, you know, we just saw the information. We were just curious. We're not really thinking of moving."
Right. Exactly.
Okay, don't be fooled by that. I made millions of dollars from trying to cut through that. That's the same as you walking into the store, and when the salesperson says, "Can I help you?" you say, "No, thank you. I'm just looking." But 10 minutes later, you're at the cash with whatever you bought.
So in our universal callback script, we say, "Are you gonna? Do you plan on moving in 3 to 6 months?" They say, "No, we're not planning on moving at all. We're not even planning on selling our home. All we're just looking for is."
Sometimes they're telling the truth. We're going to ask. So do you want to do a quick role play?
Sure.
Okay. So you said we're not planning on making a move at all. To which I would say, well, if you were to move, would you be staying in the area or moving out of the area?
Well, we're not moving at all. We just we just saw your ad on Facebook, and we just thought we were just curious as to what our home was worth.
Okay, and if you could get more than what you thought your home was worth, would you be interested in making a move?
I don't think so. I think we've been here a couple of years.
Which is kind of funny, right? Because what you're really saying is, I want to know what my house is worth, but no matter what it's worth, I'm not really interested in doing anything anyway. And if I believe that's the case, my answer to you would be, well, Ira, thanks, and have a nice day.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Right? If they keep, when you're asking the probing questions, if they just keep coming back to, look, as I said, I have no plans of moving. When you ask them, if you were to move, would you stay local or moving out of the area? Or if you were to move, would you want to buy first or sell first? If you were to move, do you have a realtor in mind? If they just keep coming back with the same answer, then I would believe them that they're not a candidate, they're not a prospect. You can scratch them off your list. This is what the police do, right? They cross-examine you, right? If the police were cross-examining and you just kept sticking with the same story over and over and over again, and they came at you from different angles, eventually they'd say, well, we believe this guy.
Right.
So the truth is, we are going to, when we dip our net in the water, we're going to catch some big fish, and there's going to be some we're going to have to throw back in the water. Not every prospect that responds is going to be a viable candidate, but that's why we're asking the probing questions.
Would you send them anything in the mail, like from the gold plan?
Well, I'm not going to send them anything if I believe they're not going to move. I'm not going to follow up with them again, and I'm not going to send them any email or mailing pieces at all.
Okay, well, see, what I'm thinking is just like what you said. A lot of them really are just saying, no thanks, I'm just looking, when in reality they probably are thinking about moving anyway. So
okay, if you're in doubt, send them the monthly newsletter, and I would here's a great litmus test. Okay,
yes.
At the end of the conversation, Ira, I would say this to you. Now, Ira, would it be okay if I followed up with you at a later time? Now, if you really had no interest at all, you'd probably say, Craig, you know what? Don't bother. As I've told you 5 times in this conversation, I have no plans on moving at all. But what if you didn't? What if you said, yeah, okay, well, it wouldn't hurt if you followed up? To which I would say, well, then when do you think would be a good time for me to do that? And then whatever time frame you told me, I would cut it in half.
Right. Gotcha. That sounds great. So
see, that's okay. We have to understand what our job is and what the prospect's job. The prospect, their job is to pretend that they're not moving. Now,
right.
some of them really aren't, so they don't have to be very good actors because they're really, you know, for somebody that's actually never going, you know, they have no plans at all, they're not acting. You can cross-examine them all you want. You can ask them all the probing questions you want to throw at them. The truth is they have absolutely no plans. But to others, you can break them. Right? Have you ever talked to a seller before and initially you're believing them and you're thinking, okay, this person doesn't have any plans at all, but as you keep asking the probing questions, they open up to you and you see some cracks in the story. It's like, okay, you know what? I don't believe you. I'm going to follow up with you. So we call this permission marketing. Ira, would it be okay if I followed up with you at a later time? If you say yes, that's a good sign. If you say no, that's a bad sign, and I'm scratching you off my list. If you say yes, I'm going to say, well, when do you think would be a good time for me to do that? You'll get my monthly newsletter, and I'll call you in half the time. Now, when I call you the second time, generally here's what's going to happen. And this is true with most prospects we're following up with. They're either going to get closer to you or they're going to push you further away. So if you're not certain, it's worth another phone call, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
An insurance call, I call that. All right, I hope that helps, Ira. Let's go back to Andrea. We'll see if there's any more audio questions.
We actually don't have any further audio questions at this time, just some chat questions, I believe.
All right, well, we'll take a couple more before we wrap it up. Karen says, what James is saying, what happens if they are saying, I'm working with a realtor, or when time is right, I will go with my friend, the realtor. Are they bluffing? Do I take them serious? Do I still move forward even if they tell us they're not planning on moving? Well, I think we answered that one. Okay, so if they say they have a friend or a relative in the business, I'm going to say, are you 100% committed to using that person? You know, there's a tremendous difference between real estate agents and what they do and how much they charge to get the job done. Do you think you might be open to meeting with me as well? Now, I'm saying as well. Notice I'm not saying instead. So I'm not saying, you know, use me, the stranger on the phone that you've known for 10 seconds, over your best friend, the realtor. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, do you think maybe it might be possible that there might be a big difference between what different real estate agents would do to sell your home and what they would charge? Now, you know, let's do the due diligence here, right? If you don't meet with me and you just list with your friend, you might be always thinking, well, gee, is my friend doing everything that they should be doing, or are they just kind of relying on the fact that they're my friend? If things don't go well, kind of hard, difficult, awkward to fire your friend, and you're always going to be wondering, you know, what another realtor could have done. So the prudent thing to do is meet with me, and if I don't blow you away, if I don't show you a whole bunch of different and better things that I'm going to do over your friend, the realtor, or your relative, the realtor, then by all means go with your friend or your relative. But what if after you meet with me, you do see there's a tremendous difference in what I'm going to do and what I'm going to charge? Now, they don't know I'm going to charge more probably than the friend or relative, but it's all about getting face-to-face with them. See, if you're really confident in your listing presentation, then it's just about getting face-to-face with them because you know pretty much you're going to win. Okay, Kelly's asking, in the moving checklist, there are ID numbers for our AMS hotline. Are these scripts that we can download? Yeah, I think they're already recorded. If not, we give you the transcriptions, Kelly, and you can just record them yourself. I don't know if they're generic. If they're specific, then you'd have to record them. So you have to look at the transcriptions, and if they're generic, I probably have them recorded on the AMS hotline already for you folks. I think it's already done. I'm pretty sure. Alexander is asking, do you bring sellers a net sheet to the listing presentation? Yes, if we get to that point, we go through the net sheet. Stephen's asking, in June, I ran a local newspaper ad, an editorial ad, and a classified ad. I generated 14 leads for the editorial ad and 2 for the classified ads. Should I stop the classified ad and continue the editorial ad? Well, here's what we're most interested in, Stephen. These 2 leads that you generated with the classified ad, did anybody buy or sell a home from you from those 2 leads? Because let's say you got one transaction, you converted one of the 2 to a listing that sold or a buyer that bought, and you made $20,000, and the classified ad cost you $50,000. How many of you would stop running the classified ad? So you're making a decision based on number of leads, which is a dangerous way to make these decisions. The decision ultimately shouldn't be made on, well, which ad generates me the most number of leads. A better question would be, which ad generates me the most high quality leads, or even more importantly, which ad generates the highest ROI, return on investment. Some of the ads that I ran, Stephen, actually most of them, if you guys look at the attachments in coaching call number 3, I show you actual ad results from the classified ads that I ran. And Andrea, maybe you can pull that up. It wasn't impressive. You would look at my classified ads and you'd say, well, you know, maybe Proctor doesn't know what he's doing. Every time he runs these classified ads in his rinky-dink little newspaper, he only generates 2 or 3 leads. So when I ran the area home sales report or the online home evaluation ad, I might generate 2 or 3 leads, but if I converted one of them to a listing that sold or a buyer that bought, then I'm never going to stop doing that. Okay, those are the results in front of you now. Can you make that any bigger at all, Andrea, please? So this gives you the campaign. So you can see week of January 2nd. The first time buyer ad, we moved to the right, was recorded in ID 1370. That's where the hotline script is recorded. And I generated 2 people called into the hotline and only 1 left a message. That was on January 2nd. On January 4th, 3 buyers, 3 prospects called the hotline, 2 left a message. And the next day, Thursday, January 6th, 2 people called the hotline, no one left a message. So the total for the week, 8 people called the hotline and entered ID 1370. Only 4 left messages, and it cost me $90 to run those that ad those 3 days of the week in my rinky-dink little newspaper that has free home delivery. I'll tell you, I'm going to keep doing that if I can convert one of those 4 buyers to somebody that buys. Okay, fixer-uppers, same deal. So that's what I was most interested in, not the number of leads, but the number of dollars in my bank account associated with that activity. Thank you, Andrea. Ellen Levy's asking this question. A few calls ago, James answered a question, which was, which ads are consistently the highest producers? Would you repeat the answer? Well, if I'm after sellers, I'm going to run the online home evaluation, the area home sales report. I'm going to run those editorial ads that we shared with you. The online home evaluation and the area home sales report can be run on Facebook as well as in the local newspaper. Also, all of these ads convert quite nicely to direct mail. If you take a look at my best performing postcard, if you want to pop that up, Andrea, it's got the area home sales report on one side and the online home evaluation on the other. Those were my 2 best performing classified ads, so I just converted them for use in direct mail. Makes sense, right? So what worked in the newspaper, I created a postcard for the online home evaluation. I tested it first inexpensively and quickly in the newspaper, and it worked really, really well in direct mail, and it worked really, really well on Facebook and so on. Okay. All right, Nazir is asking this. Is there a recording on the site of me doing the listing presentation? Yes. It's an actual webinar that you can, well, Andrea's answered this. You're so efficient, Andrea. Andrea says, yes, look under session or / webinar number 6. It's me doing the entire listing presentation to you as if you were the seller, and you can watch it over and over and over and over and over. All right, James, we're running out of time here. Anything that you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, we really did cover the gamut today. You know, as we promised, we can discuss anything that you want. If you bring up a topic, we'll talk about it on Monday morning. And I hope that everyone will do a little bit of research if you're not already running ads in a local newspaper, whether they're editorials or the classifieds that we started today talking about. One of the things you can very easily do is just do a Google search. Do a Google search for local publications. There's a website as well called USNPL.com, USNPL.com, and it lists by state and by geographical area all of the registered publications. If you are not aware of a local publication, that doesn't mean there isn't a local publication. It just means you're not aware of it. Maybe you're not in the delivery zone or something, but it may exist, and it may be a really good opportunity for editorials or classifieds. And if it's small, it's very likely cheap. And if it's cheap, it's definitely an easy test to determine if it's something that you're going to do over and over again. We're going to do our role play session on Thursday, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll do some great role playing. Everybody's getting much, much better. And on Friday, we're going to discuss lead generation, and one of the things that we're going to do as well is look at your ads. So we do have some ads that were sent to us last week as well as over the weekend. We will take a look at those on Friday, as well as discuss lead generation and everything that you could and should be doing in regards to that. So there you go.
All right, well, thanks everybody for tuning in today. You can check the coaching website for a full schedule of all your coaching sessions this week. And a big thanks to James McDonald and Andrea, as always, for doing a great job. Take care, everyone, and that concludes today's helpline.